In this episode.
Or even try to take off your shoes and tie them back at someone else's house. You're like, oh, I went over there and you're watching me tie my shoes right now and you're wondering what the hell is wrong with me.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what's wrong with me.
your
I got this massive piece of metal.
Your knees all canted out one direction. You get around it, you know?
Or you're doing like that awkward, just like Romanian deadlift. You just hinge directly at the hips and then round your back. What are you doing? Nothing. Just, tie my shoe like a normal person usually does.
In an obtuse world, Mark and Jefe will combine military, law enforcement, and general FUD knowledge to keep you vertical. Welcome to the Live, Laugh, Larp podcast.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by another edition of the Live, Laugh, LARP podcast. We sure do appreciate each and every single one of you, as we say it each and every single time, because you guys make this podcast happen. You may have to forgive me fighting through a bit of a summer cold or sinus change, whatever you want to call it. But needless to say, I've got the Phoebe sexy voice going on, I think.
We'll hear your rendition of Smelly Cat here.
Smelly Cat, yeah, that's exactly. But naturally, we have Jefe in the house. How you doing, sir?
I got a new fidget toy we're going to talk about here a little bit. So if you hear this like random clicking noises here in a while,
it's maddening.
It's maddening, and I'm having a good time with it. So that's all that matters. But I'm here, unfortunately, back on the casting couch for another interview.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. This is going to be right up Jefe's alley. We're going to be talking about revolver
set it up.
What's that?
Because I'm the one that set it up.
Well, yeah, of course, naturally. But, we like to mix things up as far as our guest goes. We've had a number of people that I've been interacting with online, and then naturally people that you've interacted. We have different tastes, and I think that is a good thing.
One of us has good taste, and one of us has
taste. Sure. That's a thing. Sure. Anyway, we want to say a huge thank you to the title sponsor of this podcast, and that is XS Sites. We do appreciate them taking the risk to not only again to not only help fund this podcast, because it does cost a little bit of money to put this thing together.
We drink a lot of beer.
We do drink a lot of beer, and we have some other production stuff that we have to put money into. But
more beer.
The more important thing is we've got you guys a discount code, 20% off of anything you purchase from XS Sites, and we surely do appreciate that. Huge support to you guys. We don't get any kickbacks from that at all. They've just kind of handed us a check to say, hey, here you guys go, buy some better equipment. That's what we've done. And to say thank you to you guys, they're giving us a 20% discount code, LARP. Go get you some big dot sights for your revolver.
Huge, the biggest you'll ever see.
The biggest ones.
The biggest ones. I asked a lot of people. I'm like, wow, these are big dots. So great. They're so wonderful.
So we certainly do appreciate them. But we also have a secondary sponsor.
Oh, we have a secondary sponsor.
We do, just for this episode.
Just this episode. Okay,
this episode. And we're going to keep that under wraps just for a little bit.
You have to listen to the end to get it, or fast forward.
At some point in this episode, we're going to drop that in there. It's going to save you guys some money, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome, to say the least. Now, with that being said, we are going to bring in our guest. And this gentleman has something I think is actually kind of interesting for an area that I don't necessarily dive into too much, but this is Jefe's thing, so I'll let him.
So we got Dave, the creator and inventor of the Revo Mag. Dave, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing excellently, gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so who are you? What do you do? I mean, I gave it away already, but
well, I've been a collision technician. I work for a Toyota dealership for 18 years, and Revo Mag is something that I started in 2018 just as a hobby, as a tinker, as something that I was fooling around with and having fun. And then it's something that led into a patent and then a business venture. And so Revo Mag is not my full-time gig, but it is. I hope that maybe someday it will be.
That's pretty awesome. And, you have provided samples to myself and Jefe. We certainly do appreciate that.
Gladly.
Naturally, you didn't have to do that, but I was turned on to the Revo Mag. What do you say, about 8 months ago?
Yeah, I think so. If I remember correctly, about 8-9 months ago, Dave, you reached out to me. We talked for a little bit about the Revo Mag.
January 8th was the was the very first day that anything was up online, and I posted some YouTube videos on January 8th, but I don't even think my website was up yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up shortly after that. So, I mean, all of this is really brand new.
Well, it seems like you are killing it, because I feel like every so if for those who are in this group, you know who you are, but for the vast majority of people, there's like a subculture of just like small framed revolver lovers on Instagram that would just tag each other on everything.
Yep.
Big shout out to you guys. You make Instagram actually somewhat worthwhile these days. I'm tired of seeing staccatos everywhere, so it's fun to see all these.
Well, you're tired of the P320 memes?
No, that never gets old. That never gets old. So yeah, every single one of those guys that I see that has a Revo Mag in their kit. So it seems like you've made something everyone is all about. So let's talk about the Revo Mag. So we have ours in my hand.
Yep.
We got ours in our hand. So tell us a little bit about the design, how you came up with it, and.
Well, I'll try to not to be too long-winded right off the bat, but basically, I got my concealed carry license, and I started carrying a few different striker-fired pistols, and I'd never carried a gun before, and I was kind of struggling to do it. I couldn't carry it at 4:00 because it printed like crazy, so I was carrying appendix at like 12:00, and when I sit down, that barrel would hit the seat and come up into my stomach, and it had that big sharp edge. And then one day I saw just the back profile of a revolver, of a shrouded hammer revolver, and it was like super round, and it didn't have a sharp edge there. And I was like, I bet my gut would really appreciate that soft edge right there. And that was actually the beginning of me saying, hey, I wonder if I should give this thing a try. And I did it completely for that one reason. I was like, I bet my gut would like that soft edge a lot better than it does this hard 90-degree angle. And then I started playing with reloads, and then I had some issues that I didn't really like about them, and I went looking for somebody else to make something better, and then I started tinkering, and so basically, I mean, the way that I saw it was, I bought a few belt pouches for speed loaders, and I hated them. I carried speed loaders in my pocket, but I hated that. And then in my mind, it was that your pocket became a designated mag pouch, because you couldn't put keys in it. You couldn't put a knife in it. You couldn't put anything else in that pocket because you didn't. And so then I just carried a speed strip at the bottom of my pocket because I couldn't do belt pouches. And it was kind of annoying because I really wanted to put something else in that pocket, but that's what I had in that pocket. So, honestly, the biggest problem that I had with the speed strip was just a storage issue.
Yeah.
Initially, and the Neo Mag, came out with the Rask kind of right in the middle of me playing around with the Revo Mag, and I paused when that happened. I was like, hey, you know what? That was the biggest issue that I had with revolver reload was the stupid storage. But I don't know. The more that I played with speed strips, because I live in New England, they're very temperature sensitive. So if it's 30 degrees outside, you can't get cartridges in or out of a speed strip to save your soul from hell. And then there's the opposite problem, is that if it's hot out, if it's 100 degrees out, then they tend to crumble. out of the speed strip. So that was another issue that I had with speed strips that I didn't really like is I think they're really temperature sensitive. And even with the Rask on the draw, because they are really temperature sensitive, it's 100 degrees out and you're trying to pull that thing out, and it's a pinching motion. You got to kind of reach in there, pinch it, pull it out. And it's kind of floppy donkey dick. And it's,
yeah, it just kind of flops around everywhere.
Mark has one in his hand. He's been flopping around as been talking about it.
So, and because with the speed strip, you can break off 2 at a time. But I don't know. I mean, I've gotten, and granted, it's my thing, but I think the Revo Mag is super fast to draw. I think that scooping motion, where you can pull it out of your pocket with a scooping motion, is far superior than any other draw when it comes to a reload. And it doesn't do you any good to dump your reload on the ground. So, I think that the Revo Mag may take a little bit longer with the actual loading process, but I think that the draw is so clutch that I still think if it's, I think it's faster. And I think that, so anyways, that's kind of like why I started carrying a revolver. That's some of the issues that I was having with the reloads. And then, my endeavor to basically, I bought a Kunan 357 mag, and I was trying to thumb cartridges out of that into my revolver cylinder. And I was like, all you got to do is find a way to break the spring tension, and then the cartridge just falls, and then put a roof on it. So when it comes out, it doesn't flip and do a somersault out of there like it does. It just falls straight down. And so that was basically my thought process. I was like, I can make this better. And the very first one that I made, I made it at work. I took a fender and I cut it up, and I welded a housing, and I made the spring out of music wire, and I made the follower out of wood, and I just used my finger to break the spring tension.
Yeah.
How well that worked?
It didn't work well, but it was a proof of concept.
For sure.
Do you still have that one?
I do. I have it on my IG page, kind of the progression. I have a little wall of fame or shame. I'm not sure which it is, but of all of my many, many attempts.
For those of you in the audience who are listening to this and are wondering what the hell are we even talking about, what Dave has created is essentially what looks like a FN57 magazine. It literally looks like an FN57 magazine. And it has these 2 little tabs on either side that you use your thumb and index finger to pinch in. And when you pinch that in, a round from inside the Revo Mag will drop directly into a revolver cylinder, which makes it a lot easier to reload than, say, like a speed strip. Now, I carry a speed strip most days. Obviously, I'm going to change that up now to test out the Revo Mag. But what I do, and this is when I carry a revolver, this is all information that I've learned from Jefe. But I carry
one of us.
I carry 4 rounds on a speed strip that has 6. And the reason for that is I carry the speed strip in my coin pocket of my jeans on my right side. And it was very interesting because I posted a picture on X, formerly Twitter, of someone made a comment about show your EDC. So I took a picture of me lifting up my shirt, showing my Smith & Wesson 638, and then my speed strip in my coin pocket. And I had several people asking me, why is your reload on your right side? And I was like, oh, here's a teachable moment. Here's the proper way to reload a revolver. And I sent them a video from Lucky Gunner. And so you obviously dump the cylinder and essentially transfer the revolver to your left hand, tilt it so the revolver is facing upwards, smack the plunger what do you call it?
You're doing great.
Yep. Is that what
Yep,
it's called?
yep.
Plunger?
Plunger.
Smack the plunger that knocks out all of the spent casings.
Is ejector, but
Ejector. Okay.
plunger works.
Thank you. And then you start reloading from there, however you decide to do it. Speed strips are okay, but from what Jefe was saying, what he taught me was if you had 6 rounds in a 6-round speed strip, doing 2 at a time in a cylinder can get kind of dicey because you're trying to weave 2 rounds into a cylinder and then have the other 2 rounds or other 4 rounds kind of hanging out. You're trying to do that under stress. It's not going to work out so well. However, fast forward to now, and with the Revo Mag, I've seen videos on your Instagram page, and it seems pretty interesting. It seems like it's going to be something that might be a little bit more efficient. I don't know if it necessarily...
That break off motion, it does take time. And like I said, they are really temperature sensitive. They'll break off. If it's 75 degrees outside, you're pretty much, that's not an issue. But if it's hot or cold, that will be an issue. But that break off motion does take time. And I think just even though it's dropping it in 1 at a time, not 2 at a time, I think you make up a lot of that time just doing away with that extra motion.
Well, as someone who shot IDPA matches several times with the J-frame and a fanny pack full of not only just normal street speed strips, but like the Z strips and I can't remember that gentleman. He has like 3 or 4 different products.
And honestly, I have no experience with any of those other speed strip variants.
So the Z strip is a 3 and 2, and then the Z pack is like it's just a cylinder. The big problem with a lot of the strip off is as you're stripping things off, rounds can come out with it if you don't get a good good strip off. So this product looks like as you said before, it might not be as fast, but you're not losing rounds to that pull off, or you're not stripping out your product. So when you order your Revo Mag, what do you get these days? What's
inside the box?
What's inside your box? I mean, we know what's inside the box, but talk to us a little about that.
Yeah, so the Revo Mag comes with a practice cylinder. It's just a 6-shot, it's just a 1/2 inch thick. So it kind of resembles the revolver cylinder, and it's got a hex L key. So you can transfer your clip from right and left hand users, or drop your base plate you get some pocket lint in there, some dirt in there if you're throwing in the dirt at the range or whatever. You can perform some maintenance tasks with it. You can change your clip. And then it's just got a QR code in there where you can scan that, and takes you to my resource tab on my website, teaches you how to use the Revo Mag, because it's kind of a completely different thing. And there's not really anything that you're doing that would necessarily prepare you for how to load it or how to use it. I don't know. You tell me, Jeff, how intuitive is it?
Well, when I opened it last night and started playing with it, I put some, we talked about this a little bit, some snap caps in there. This is my bad. I didn't look at the website at all. I was like, no, I can figure this out. The insert's a little tricky at first, but once you kind of get the hang of it, of how to do the insert, it is incredibly smooth, incredibly easy, incredibly intuitive. So you did a fantastic job on it. Now, what is this made out of? This has been kind of baffling in the past 12 hours of how do you make this?
Yeah, so it's actually the same manufacturing process that Ryan Hammer uses.
Okay.
It's an SLS 3D printer. So it uses a fiber laser to center or melt a polymer. And it does that layer by layer, just like any other 3D printer, but it uses the uncentered powder, the unmelted powder, as a support structure.
Okay.
So in the build chamber, so every single time in 24 hours, my unit produces 16 complete assemblies. And then I depowder them, and I perform some other post-processing, and then I assemble.
So have you? I think I talked with Ryan a little bit when you were first starting out. Have you been working out with him a little bit about how to get this whole
Yeah,
process
so
set up?
Ryan was you were actually I think I had like 30 followers on Instagram. You were actually one of the very first people to reach out to me. And Ryan Hamry was like maybe the second. Like he immediately reached out to me with he's just a solid dude. I mean, just a good guy, good heart. And he just said like small business, family-owned small business is something that we absolutely believe in around here. And it's like, just very complimentary. And then the very next day I talked to him on the phone. We had like an hour conversation. And so, yeah, I mean, I talk to him semi-regularly. I think he's a great guy. I think there's a lot that I could learn from him, but we do have, some similarities as far as what we're doing and what we're trying and how we're doing it.
Yeah,
he's got a way bigger operation than I do at the moment.
So you can make about 16 of these a day.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure business is pretty booming right now.
Yeah, things are going really well. I feel like there's been a real positive. I haven't, and I'm not saying they're not out there, but I haven't had a single person that has actually used it hate on me. I know that's going to happen, but there's been a decent amount of hate just in comments. Like I saw it put up on Reddit, I saw it put up on Facebook. There's like the initial like destined to fail, total gimmick, and like we could have a conversation about both of those things, but it's like, well, you've actually never even tried it, so
until you
maybe
try
do that.
Yeah, no, that's as you've probably been finding out too, Facebook and Reddit are the cesspools of the internet. I mean, Instagram's no better, but it's definitely one of those. Take those guys with a grain of salt, because more often than not, they have no idea what they're talking about. So,
and like I've been a mechanic for 18 years. Like I know how to bust balls, and I know how to get my balls busted, and I'm pretty comfortable in that space. So I don't mind a little criticism.
Okay. Well then, so this holds how many rounds? How many rounds do these guys hold?
It holds 8 rounds. So the logic there was that it would be 1 reload for any defensive revolver. And it's like, what is a defensive revolver? Well, as I find it, a defensive revolver is a snub nose revolver. So 2 inches or less. Granted, lots of guys, they dig the 3-inch and they carry that, or, maybe, and then there's like some longer than 2-inch, revolvers that would still be a snub nose. But in my mind, the sweet spot of the defensive revolver was 2 inches or less, 38 special plus P. And I had in mind the Smith & Wesson 327 PC as an 8-shot, 2-inch snub nose. And I wanted it to reload, 5, 6, 7, and 8-shot revolvers, 1 reload for any defensive revolver. So I actually played with a 10-round version, but I just was like, I think it's just too big. And
start getting some base place extensions on this thing now, like a tear.
Well, I mean, guys have like reached out and been like, I won't buy one until it's 10-round capacity, and I definitely see the logic there. But at the same time, it's like, if you're in a gunfight with a revolver and you have to reload numerous times, like, man, the shit is really hitting the fan.
You probably shouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's right now you have a 38 special version. Is there any plans for additional calibers like 44, 30, 32s?
Yeah, I would love to do 44 Magnum. I would love to do like a lot of guys have actually reached out and said 45 Colt. That's actually 32 H&R Magnum is the number one thing that people ask me for, and 45 Colt is actually probably the second. I would have to do a little more market research before I'd pull the trigger. But this does. When I test it, I test every Revo Mag 3 times completely full, 8 shots, 8 shots, 8 shots, and I actually test it with 357 Magnum every single time. I have a Hornady XTP. I have a Hornady Critical Defense, and I have the Fort Scott Munitions 357 Magnum. Those are the 3 that I test it with every single time, every single Revo Mag, and because I know it's going to work with 38 Special Plus P because it's just designed for it. But I want to make sure that it's working good with the 357 too. So there is a little bit of limited compatibility there. My recommendation is that cartridges should not exceed 1.45 inches. All of those cartridges fit within that realm. I think the gold dot is a little too long, but
the 357 gold dots or the 38s?
The 357 gold dot. But honestly, there's a little bit of variation between each and every one of them, and some of them will run that and some of them won't. And so I just pull back a little bit with my recommendation for it so that I'm well in the clear and I'm able to give a solid recommendation to everybody. But a lot of it's just going to be experimentation. Like you can put 327 Magnums in it. You can put 32 Magnums in it, H&R Magnums in it. You can put 38 Special. You can put a 357 in it. And basically the cartridge sticks out the front. That's what I call the forward advance. That's your guide into each chamber of the cylinder. And, as the shorter the cartridge gets, so like with the 32 H&R Magnum, you're going to have diminished advance, which is going to be diminished guide into the chamber of the cylinder. And then it's going to have a little bit of side-to-side movement, just like the 327 would have, because the 38 Special is a little wider cartridge. But I don't know. It's got a pretty wide range of compatibility just with the one that I have. That's my point.
No, that makes perfect sense. Like it's one of those. It's always good to do what everyone normally cares, like a tried and true Smith and Wesson, not that Ruger stuff, but the Smith and Wesson revolvers, and especially in like a 30, 38 or 357. I know the 32 H&R has become like really, really popular in the past couple of years with Lipsy's coming out with that the UC line, and then I can't remember what's the other revolver maker that everyone seems to like absolutely love.
Taurus?
No, Taurus has a couple 327 Fed mags coming out, but I think it's Ruger. I think that LCR garbage.
That's what I have, and the reason that I have an LCR is because I never reach for the top shelf because I can't afford it.
That's fair.
Not yet.
There's 2 or 3 gentlemen on Instagram that I always have quorums about how the LCR is the inferior J-frame size revolver. So I have to keep the facade up.
Podcast. I would, and for a revolver guy, who owns a business about revolvers, I have 2 revolvers.
Hey, that's all you need, right?
I have the 38 Special only LCR, and I have a 22 long rifle LCR, and I actually bought that 22 long rifle as a home defense gun for my wife.
Okay, no, since I do work in law enforcement, I think our last homicide was done with the LCR 22. 3 rounds to the chest, killed him instantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
sleep on it.
The 22 long rifle, but I've killed only about a bazillion things with a 22 long rifle, and I would be really afraid to get shot with that.
Yeah, we have rabbits in our yard, and I have a little Heritage Rough Rider that carry the 22 punches in, and they do some damage.
Do they really?
They are quite stout things.
So, Dave, let me ask you this: as far as like the durability goes with this your Revo Mag, what kind of stress testing have you put this through?
Well, I've definitely smashed about 1 billion of them, just playing with it, and They're pretty durable. They're not like back over a truck durable. And I have a guarantee on my thing. I'm going to stand behind my product 100%. Like, honestly, even more than the money, more than anything else, like, I am just a person. I pride myself in my character, and I want to bless people. I want to give you, like, I want to be a blessing. I want my tool to be a blessing. Like, I hope that in some small way, like, it's a blessing to you. And if it fails you, I'm going to stand beside it 100%.
Well, if it's and Mark is handing it off to Nan right now. If outside of being a useful tool, it's also a great fidget toy, man. I've been fidgeting with it for quite a bit over here.
No, yeah. I one of the original guys very first guys that purchased the Revo Mag, he emailed me and he said, "You've created the greatest fidget toy there ever was." And I fidgeted with it a lot. I mean, every single Revo Mag that goes out the door, I test it 3 times. So, and I drop cartridges into the practice cylinder. So I have that cadence, the cadence of how long to pinch the tabs to fully seat the cartridge, the cadence of pushing them in so that you don't jack things up and so that they slide in nice and smooth. Like, I just have that down pat because I fidgeted with that thing so much.
So out of curiosity, how many, what is your oldest one you have, and about how many rounds have you fed through it, I guess is the question.
Yeah, so I probably the oldest one I have is a couple years old. And I honestly, I couldn't tell you. and honestly, there's been such a progression even through the prototype process where they were always getting better. And so I was always upgrading to the best version of whatever I was currently producing. And so as far as like, do I have a track record of 1 billion rounds, through one? No, I don't. I don't.
Okay, that's fine.
But you said that you've only been working on this for just a handful of years. Is that correct?
So I started this project in 2018, but it was more of a I guess in the back of my mind, I always had it in my head that like if I truly discovered something awesome, that I would try to start a business with it. But it was like, I'm just a tinker, and this was an opportunity for me to tinker. And I was getting into 3D printing and just FDM 3D printing, which is the kind of 3D printing that everybody has. And and then, I felt like, kind of once I discovered the release mechanism in those 2 side tabs, I felt like because I tried so many other ways of doing that I had discovered a really simple and really effective and the best way to do this. Because I tried breaking spring tension from the front, I tried breaking spring tension from the back, and all it does is it rocks the cartridge. It won't break the spring tension. And so I was like, I need central access to this cartridge to break the spring tension. And then the live hinge and a flexible material, not a metal, but a polymer, was kind of what I discovered as the answer to that. So I'm pretty freaking confident that what I came up with, because I had so many attempts at it, is the best version of what it is.
Yeah. First of all, I do love the texture on it. That's actually pretty cool. I saw what TCNC, they did like a different design on it. It had some like scroll work on it. Want to talk about that one a little bit, or what's going on?
So that was Ryan Hamry's idea.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's like, dude, you should do one, because the design work, whether the stempling, which is what you guys have, or the scroll work, which is what I call the filigree. It's like a flower like you would see engraved in a revolver or a shotgun or something like that, or in some kind of a leather work, like a leather holster or something like that. That's laser engraved.
Okay.
Just a CO2 laser. And and it uses that same CNC gantry to, and then mirrors to refract that laser. But I can put any design in them, and that was just that filigree, that flower was my next. So that's something that I have pictures for, and something that I need to get on the website, and something that I will be making available really soon. But it's something that's not available yet, and I've just let a few of them sneak out.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I just wanted to see what people's reaction was. I want to see people message me and say, "Hey, when is that coming out? Like, I want one of those."
So yeah, I bet you then you took a book out of Ryan's playbook of, hey, we'll give limited release to certain things, and then just have people berate him until he releases it. Talk about the K and L grips for revolvers right now. Yeah. And then, is there going to be an option soon to have like custom, like I can email you, like, hey, can you put this picture on there somewhere, or like my name on it?
No, I don't think that I have any vision for that. Although that would be really cool. I think that it's really labor intensive for me to kind of put the parameters around it. I'm not like, I mean, I'm a mechanic. Like, there's probably people who could do this better than I can do it, but for me, it's just like I just want to streamline this a little more than that. Like, I would like to have a half a dozen designs.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to buy 2 Revo Mags, there'd be a drop down menu where you could pick, 2 or 3 or whatever. You could buy one individually, or you could buy them together. And I've kind of played with the idea of like, doing some kind of a discount as, if you bought 2 or something like that. But you could buy 2 different ones with 2 different designs on it. That kind of an idea. And I've kind of played with the idea of maybe doing like just limited releases, not by request, but just something that I think is cool, and then just like make a dozen of them and sell them, and it just is what it is.
Oh, that's what's so neat about this, like this carbon printing. This is the only way I've been able to like describe to people. And the laser engraving game that we're kind of moving into is like customization. It seems like, especially even for like a small mom and pop business, is so much easier now than compared to, for example, if you were trying to do this scroll work by hand, just to do 12 would be, so labor intensive. Now it's, I got to set up my machine a little bit differently, but it's not like I don't have to go out and buy tooling. I don't have to spend hours working on this. It's a very streamlined process, and it like lends to be able to do a lot of cool stuff. It sounds like these days. I know like Ryan talks a lot about like just the different types of grips. Like he can make all these cool grips for all these revolvers, and it's not it's outside of the CAD work. It's it's not like you have to go spend thousands of dollars on brand new tooling or anything like that. So dude, you have like a lot of cool, I bet you have a lot of cool opportunities for some customization coming up here in a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually pretty astounding just where we're at as for starting a business, like from the software to the label printers to just the machines that just regular people have access to, the manufacturing machines. Like, I didn't have any experience doing anything, designing anything, prototyping anything, running any of these machines, and I figured it out, and it's pretty amazing because I essentially have access to an injection molded quality piece that I make in my garage. I mean, I got a quote on injection molding, and it's $50,000, not including the manufacturing run that you will pay for up front.
Jeez.
So, for a guy like me who has a dream and a vision for something he wants to do, to be able to accomplish that in my garage is pretty astounding.
Yeah, and that's something that I've had discussions with like manufacturers such as JMac Customs. He and I had they're talking Justin of JMac, the owner. He and I had a brainstorming session via DM, and I was asking him questions. I was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about maybe trying this instead of doing that?" And he's like, I really like where you're going with this. Unfortunately, just to get a mold for what you're asking for is 50 grand just right off the top. So financially, that's not viable for us. We have to have something that we know that's going to sell right away. And unfortunately, that kind of dictates what they can and cannot do. But when they do get time to kind of explore a little bit, maybe get a little capital, a little breathing room, then they can start looking into expanding just a little bit. But, you know, from a machining standpoint, it's a little bit more difficult than some of the 3D printing crowd, because 3D printing is, you know, I'm not going to say it's not easy. By no means it's not easy, but you have the ability to kind of tinker with things a little bit more than you do with machining, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So once you have an injection mold made, I'm not an expert on injection molds, but there's very little that you can do to change the design.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of really unique, like, you know, no tolerances, no gaps smaller than a certain parameter. And actually the Revo Mag would have to be completely like reworked, all the dimensions of it, because it doesn't play nicely with injection molding at all. And so, and if it was injection molded, it would have to be molded in 2 halves and then ultrasonically welded together, which is an additional procedure. So the fact that it creates it in one piece, not ultrasonically welded together, and I can if an issue arises, I can correct it immediately. You know, I can begin to work on a solution to a problem, and by next week, in theory, I could be producing the solution to that problem.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
And as demand increases, like, it's very modular. I can add new units, new printers, and they can continue to pump out parts.
Yeah.
Kind of the bottleneck of the Revo Mag is the texture of SLS 3D printing is kind of matte or porous. And so it's a light file, but I have to file the inside of every single Revo Mag by hand. And that's definitely a bottleneck to my procedure. But
that's interesting. So, I mean, do you just use like a flat file that you take in?
Yeah, so there's the Gobrits and the Preferreds. Those are kind of like the Italian and German like file company that offers every file and every grit known to man. And I bought a bunch of stuff, and I tried different grits and different, you know, trying to streamline that process. And I have a pretty good process. I'm pretty comfortable with the process that I have. I've improved along every aspect of this, you know, so much through the years, and I'm confident that the trajectory is that I'm going to continue to improve it and continue to work out bottlenecks and continue to solve problems and, you know, just make it better.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I think that I don't, of course, I'm not on your level when it comes to thinking outside of the box to come up with something like this, but just from my limited exposure to this, the hour that I've had it in my hand now, I can't imagine there being much more that you could do to this to make it any better.
Fun new colors.
New colors, right? I mean, the only question I have though is one of the things that I see right off the bat. It's something that's going to be different for people to become accustomed to, is that first round is sticking out, you know, about, I don't know, half an inch or so. And so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be concerned about it getting caught on something, you know, like getting caught in your pants, or, you know, that as you're stripping the Revo Mag out of your pocket, it's then pushing against that round to bind it up. What would you have to say when it comes to something like that, a concern like that?
Well, I spent a little bit of time playing with how to have that cartridge not protruding as it is. But honestly, the thing about is the simpler the design is, the more solid the design is. Like making a simple thing more complex. Maybe basically you would be solving one quote unquote problem and creating a bunch of other fail points. And to me, when I looked at the Revo Mag, it's like, yes, it does have an advanced forward cartridge, but this is a really simple design. There's only 3 plastic pieces to this entire thing. There's a spring and there's 4 screws. It doesn't get any simpler than this. And you know, the revolver reload hasn't been reimagined in 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I reimagined it. And so, I mean, to me, it's like, I just don't think that, I think that you would be solving one problem and you'd be creating other fail points. I think the design is really simple, and I think that simple designs are good designs.
No,
Yeah.
this is again, like, this is probably like the easiest design I've ever like seen in a gun product. Because again, you said it's like 3 pieces and a couple screws. I actually did have a question about this. The spring inside? What kind of spring is that? Is that actually from like a 5.7 magazine, or what was that from?
Actually, that was one of the most difficult parts of designing the Revo Mag, and that is that a magazine spring does not work in any way, shape, or form. The amount of force needed to drive that cartridge into the breech, I think that's the right term, while that slide is reciprocating, is a really strong spring. And you're not going to be able to break that spring tension, and you're definitely not going to be able to put 8 cartridges in it with that kind of spring tension. It's only about 20 times more force than is needed to perform the task that I was trying to perform. And so finding a spring that I could even prototype with was really difficult. And the way that I did it is I ordered about 100 springs that I thought might work off Alibaba. And a lot of it was like, I can make a housing any shape or size, but I need the correct amount of force. And it was honestly, it was a lot of it was just the grace of God that I actually win that 100 springs. There was one that was good enough for, it wasn't just good enough. It's actually the spring that I'm using today, although it is a custom spring, which I had made for the Revo Mag, in the sense that the spring fits the housing perfectly. It is actually the identical force and height of the Chinese spring that I got off Alibaba. And I don't think that the Revo Mag would have ever even happened if I didn't have that prototype spring. And it was actually the perfect amount of force, because I was like, oh, I'm going to tweak this spring. And I talked to the spring engineers, and I can't really remember exactly how that conversation went, but I do remember that I walked away from the conversation and I was like, holy shit, like that spring was literally perfect. Like there's nothing that I could do, because they're like, oh, if we add diameter to the spring, or oh, if we add like an extra coil, like it's going to jack it all up. That was basically my takeaway. And I was like, man, if I didn't have that spring, you know, maybe the Revo Mag never would have even happened, because it was just the right amount of force. And it's a really unique amount of force. And you can't find that amount of force in any other magazine, where you can actually break the spring tension with your thumb and index finger. Yeah. And you can get rounds into it and out of it like that.
So thank you, Alibaba or Temu or whatever. Are you now making these springs and at home? Or are you still getting them from
China? From China.
No, they're made in California.
Okay, cool.
I found a spring manufacturer, and I worked with their engineers, and I sent them my prototype spring. I'm actually kind of pissed because I never got that spring back. Like I wanted to put that spring on my wall, but but now I ordered a few thousand springs, and you know, once I get low in stock, I'll order some more. But yeah, I have those made in California.
Awesome. So made in the USA. It's printed right here on your Revo Mag because this is all made in some guy's garage. Even except for the springs.
No, the springs are California.
Made in California. They're not
Yeah.
made in his garage.
Yeah, so the hardware is made in Taiwan, and I actually don't know where the powder is made. I
Yeah.
know it's not made in America.
Yeah.
That's just the best that I could do. I really wanted to be like, oh, my product is 100% made in America, but it just wasn't going to happen.
No, I get it. No,
No, that's the life of manufacturing. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the Emerson knife, which is one of my favorite knives I've ever owned, is 100% made in America. All their screws, everything. And my hat's off to those guys. I think that's freaking awesome that they did it. But you would need to be ordering those springs, by the 50,000s.
Yeah.
In order, or not the springs, the screws and like the just general hardware to make that worth it. And for a guy who wanted to test the market with a brand new product, like I needed to order 1,000 from Taiwan, and that's what I did.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, you're not the only one that's monetized like a cool, like a hobby of yours or something that you're like, hey, I have this great idea, I want to monetize it, because that's exactly how this podcast started. So so we absolutely get it, and you did actually, I think you knocked it out of the park, man. Like just playing with this thing. So I'm a night shift worker. So last night I got home, I opened mine up, and I played with I played with it for about, I like 5 hours yesterday on mine. So mine has a couple thousand rounds of play around with it, and like on a small J frame, it feels so natural, feels so wonderful to play with. Not just the actual motion of using it, but actually works. I think if you work on it a little bit, like if you as a purchaser work with the Revo Mag, you'll find it's actually as fast, not faster than most like speed strips. I don't think you're going to beat Speed Loader just yet, but I'm pretty sure you'll figure it out, Dave.
Well, I don't think I appreciate your vote of confidence. The Speed Loader is faster. It's unequivocally faster, but my claim is that it's faster than a speed strip and more concealable than a speed loader. All I was trying to do was be more concealable than a speed loader. Because I think the vast majority of guys that are carrying a revolver as a primary carry and they have a reload for it are carrying speed strips. So I want to be more concealable than a speed loader and faster than a speed strip. That was actually my mission statement. That is what I set out to do. That is what I hope to accomplish. And I worked thousands of hours. I'm not joking, man. Before I even had something in my hand that I could be like, begin to even say like, did I do that? Did I accomplish that? That's what I set out to do. You 7 years ago, I set out trying to do this, and you hold one in your hand and you're like, oh yeah, this is cool or this isn't cool. But for me, I had to work 7 years to do what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's what the hard thing that like a lot of people just don't understand, especially when it comes to like, I'm going to use you and Ryan a lot, is that it's very easy for us as consumer, like a very consumer society, to purchase a product and like, oh, cool. Yeah, this guy 3D printed it in his basement. I don't know why I pay 40, 50, 60 bucks for this. Like, I think a hammer A grips are in like the $40 or $50 range. And it's probably very hard for those people that, that don't know what's going behind it to say, like, I don't want to spend $60 on this. Like, if this guy's 3D printing in his basement, compared to, it's like, no, you're paying for years of testing, years of product design, a very unique tool that you can't get anywhere else, and like this is a price that is more than acceptable for it, because if any other company made this product, they'll send you for like $600-700 because that's how much it would cost for them to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, an entry-level SLS 3D printer is $30,000. And the sky is the limit. You could pay $1 million for an SLS 3D printer.
Yeah.
That SLS technology had a patent, and that patent expired about 4 years ago. And so now, some of these companies, Minds of Form Labs, they're coming out with entry level SLS 3D printers, which are giving guys like myself industrial power. But it's like, we're not talking about ordering some piece of shit on Amazon and being like, oh, like, look what I made. Like, it's like, no, I actually have a lot invested in this, and I have some pretty fucking badass tools. And
yeah, and the interesting thing too is a lot of people don't get it twisted. A lot of people think 3D printed stuff, they've seen it, they've kind of held some 3D printed items in the past, and it has a very rigid, not rigid, but what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know the word you're looking for. Sorry.
But obviously you can see every single line that something has been printed.
Like pre-acetone, right? You got to acetone the shit out of those things.
Yeah, right. And this is not it. This actually feels like it's been injected molded. It even looks like it's been injected molded, just the way that it, the carbon fiber aspect of it. You would not. I could hand this to somebody, and they probably wouldn't have guessed that it was 3D printed right off the gate. So that's something
you have to really know your manufacturing processes to
correct.
Be able to look at that and determine what it is. And honestly, like, like, even Ryan Henry, he was one of the first people to purchase a Revo Mag, and he called me up. He's like, dude, your post process is incredible. And the reason, because I just, I'm a tinkerer, and I just tinkered to the nth degree and just tried a zillion things, not just with design, but with every single thing that happened after that. And so my SLS 3D printer, I bought used off Facebook Market because I didn't have $30,000 from a guy that makes prosthetic fingers, and he updated to the newest version of this unit. He bought a $40,000 unit, $45,000 unit. But so he was selling his old unit on Facebook Market, and so Form Labs is based in Boston. So I went there, I talked to their engineers, they printed all my STLs, I stress test the parts, I brought them home, I built Revo Mags, I tested them. I was like, this is the future of what I want to do, and I have no access to this. And I looked on eBay, I looked on Facebook Market, and in Connecticut, 2 hours away from me, there was a unit that I had access to, and I drove down there and I got that unit, and the rest is history. But I'm just saying, like, every single aspect of this was bootstrapped, every single thing.
Yeah.
Even just like, I didn't really even have the money to pursue this. So I did side work. I'm a collision technician, so I can do paint and auto body, and man, I'm pretty dang mechanical. I got a 2-post car lift in my garage. I can pretty much fix anything. And that's maybe too proud.
No, I mean,
but,
hey.
I can fix a lot of stuff. Not anything.
As someone who had to fix a
bus.
I haven't had to fix my bus, but I had to fix my engine on my truck this past weekend in Kansas City. So it's always good to have. It's definitely something not to just snuff your nose at, because the amount of people that don't know how to fix a basic engine or anything. No, man, it's a good skill to have. I don't know where I was going to go with that 100%. But
well, I was just saying that, like, I put thousands of hours in on the design work. I put thousands of hours in on the side work. Because for a really long time, there at the very end, like, I used some of our personal money to kind of bridge the gap and thrust this thing into, like, the final stages. But for the most part, through the process, like, every single dollar that I spent on it was nights and weekends money that I made on the side. And I did everything that I could to insulate my family from the risk of my endeavor. And I did that.
And now you have a fantastic product that everyone seems to be loving, man. Like, out of curiosity, you know how many of these you've sold so far since launching in January?
There's a little under 200 of them out there.
Okay.
So
it's pretty decent. I mean, for an upstart, that's not anything to scoff at, so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know how to have an expectation for what this was going to be. I have no engineering experience. I have no prototyping experience. I have no manufacturing experience. I've never owned a business before. I wasn't on social media before January. Wow. So it's like, every single thing that I'm doing, I've never done before, or I taught myself how to do. So I'm just doing the best that I can, and I'm just gonna see what happens.
Yeah. So my question then, from a engineering standpoint, is, you had no previous experience. So how did the design work come about? I mean, obviously, in order for you to 3D print this, you have to have some type of drawing, like CAD drawing or something.
Basically, what happened is, I was naive, and I had a design, and it's not actually even the design that I have today, but I paid for some engineering, and I quickly realized that there was no way that I was going to be able to pay for engineering, that it was something that I was going to have to bootstrap. And so I had a buddy, he was an engineer, and he had a 1960 Land Rover Defender.
Nice.
Land Rover Defender truck in his garage, and had been sitting there for a couple of years. And I was like, dude, I have this idea. I really want to pursue it. And you got this Land Rover. You got this Land Rover sitting in your garage, and there's nothing really happening with it. So what if I move that Land Rover forward, and you help me with some of this design work? And that's what happened. And I won't give his name, but he's on the patent with me.
That's awesome.
Two of us on there. And dude, this bro is one of the, like, I've worked with him for about 5-6 years on this project, and he has faithfully loved and served me through the process and been so generous to me, and I have done everything in my power to reciprocate it and to be a blessing to him in return. I can honestly say, without this individual, there's no way that this would have happened, and I'm forever grateful to him. I pray that God rewards him for his kindness to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's the thing.
A solid dude that, did something for me that I don't know that I could fully repay him for, and I don't know that I fully deserved, but he did it.
And that's the thing, that everybody in their success story, regardless of how revolutionary their idea was, it started from something else, and usually someone helped them along the way, and that's always a really cool story to hear, just to hear that you had a skill set and you knew that you had a gap, and you were able to leverage your skill set to bridge that gap with the help of somebody else. And I think that's actually pretty cool, and dare I say, a bit of the American spirit, of pulling together and making something happen.
It was amazing to me, because like I from 6th grade through 12th grade I was homeschooled. So although I completed all the coursework for a high school diploma, I don't have one. The plan was for me to go to city college, just like all my brothers did, and then transfer to a 4-year school, and then it wouldn't even matter because I had this associate's degree, and then I would have this 4-year degree, but I just was really terrible at school, and I never went that path, and I started sweeping a floor at a body shop when I was 18 years old. And by the grace of God, like I added a skill set to me. I work for a Toyota dealership now, and my wife's a stay-at-home mom. So I don't know. It's amazing to me how much grace God had on my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like a nobody, like just with like no future. Like I just worked really hard, and there was a lot of grace, and a lot of people helped me out along the way. And yeah, that like my skill set, which I got through the school of hard knocks, like in a sense accomplished engineering, even though it was, through a 1960 Land Rover.
That's pretty cool. But if anybody has made it to this point in the podcast, and if you have, thank you so much. The other great thing is this is our next sponsor, I suppose, is what we'll call it.
Air
But
quotes.
yeah, Dave has graciously allowed us to provide you guys with the discount code. So if you guys are interested in picking up one of these, any one of you out there who are revolver curious, or maybe even connoisseurs, if you're interested in picking up one of these Revo Mags, we're going to have a discount code for you guys. And I believe, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got it set up for 10% off. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
Yeah, man. We really do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that you had to do, but you came through on that, and that's pretty awesome. So I'd encourage you guys, if you have a revolver, try one of these out. Just try it out and see what you think, And at the same time, you're going to be able to capitalize on a small little discount for you for listening in on this podcast as well. So
And you help out an awesome dude.
yeah, exactly. Someone who is literally pulling something together from his bootstraps. I think that is actually a really cool story. Much along the same vein, and I hate to conflate you with Hamray, but I kind of see you guys in the same light. You're doing two separate things, but you're doing it from the grassroots level, and I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I remember the very first time it was actually in a concealed carry magazine. I saw Ryan Hamry's grips, and I immediately I was like, those are FDM 3D printed. I was like, oh man, like this bro like is like running a business with FDM 3D printed product. I was like, that is something. I definitely took note of it because at the time that was what I was going to try to do as well. And then I ended up going SLS and kind of taking a different path, which actually ended up being the same path that he took. So it's just really interesting to see. And I'm really encouraging. I remember when I saw his ad with his grips, I was like, that is freaking cool.
Yeah, for sure. So
I'm going to kind of derail a little bit.
Yeah.
So I know that you talk about your auto mechanic side of things. What other cool uses have you been able to find for your new SLS printer that helps you not only in this endeavor but other endeavors?
Well, to be honest, so this unit is due for service. It's like a timing belt or a water pump at 2,000 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't do a bunch of messing around with it. I don't want to put miles on it, so to speak, that aren't making me money. So I'm pretty protective of what I send through here. It's not like I'm like printing trinkets for the neighbors or anything with it, but I do have a CAD skill set, which basically I can make fixtures and jigs for tooling and things like that. And I still use my FDM 3D printers for that, just because I'm just trying to keep the hours off of this unit. As soon as I want to upgrade this unit to the 30 watt laser. This is a 10 watt laser, which is a much better unit. And then once this is my backup unit and I built a little redundancy into my business, then I'll feel a little more free to kind of rack up some hours. And I'm going to do the service on it myself. I'll just get the maintenance book and figure out what it needs at what intervals and figure out how to do it.
Yeah. because I remember talking with Hamray. He was talking. Sorry, we keep on bringing him up. Like this is like we're just drawing correlations on this one. He was saying like it was really popular, like F1 for like exhaust manifolds and all this other stuff. I didn't know if that was something that you were also using it for in your.
No, it would be really cool if I was that cool, but I I had not a cool answer to that question. I'm sure you were hoping for something awesome.
No, it's more of curiosity. As someone who's been 3D printer curious for a little bit now, it's always interesting to see what people are doing. You know, for grassroots businesses from anywhere from you, Hamray. There's a bunch of you can go on Instagram and find all these other guys are making cool products for the firearm side of things with either SLS printers or the nylon 3D printers. So it's always cool just to see what else like that people are finding uses for outside of the gun space. It's like, yeah, I make this gun part or I do this XYZ, but then also, I make not just trinkets for the family. Like I also do this on the side as well. So I was curious if there's anything else like that you're working on.
Well, my wheels are always turning as far as like, other products that I could launch or other things that I could do. But I really think that kind of the thing that I set out to do was build and sell 1,000 Revo Mags. That was my goal. Build and sell 1,000 Revo Mags. And honestly, like until that happens, like I'm not going to allow myself to, because I just have so much invested in this already. And I just have to, like, I've worked for free for so many years. Like I just need a return. Like I owe that to myself before I, start the next leg of this adventure. So I think that I have a really solid product. I think that it has some pretty versatile compatibility, and I'm just going to roll with this thing until I accomplish my goal. And then once I've accomplished that, then I'll start working on something new.
Well, I don't foresee you having any issues, man. This is a super, super cool product. I can't wait to actually get out into the range and use it because I know for me at least, one of the biggest concerns I always have with just a primary carry J-frame revolver is the ammunition capacity. And it's always nice to have something like this in your pocket or in a bag nearby where it's like where you can always have an extra little security with you. So, I'm going to kind of turn a little bit on this one. This next question. So you came out with this product because you decided one day, hey, I'm going to start carrying a revolver because it doesn't hurt my tummy as much. So let's talk a little bit about your journey into like the gun space. How did you start? Like what kind of got you into doing gun stuff, I guess?
Yeah, so I grew up in Colorado. My folks owned 80 acres, and that was actually the smallest piece of property of anyone around us. There was a 500-acre ranch, and actually directly across the street, there was a 22,000-acre ranch. And so, basically, like, from the time that I was 13 through high school, like, I was working on, ranches. I was a farmhand, and there was always a gun in the truck. There was always a gun in the glove box and under the seat. And my grandmother had a 6,000-acre ranch, so we pronghorn antelope hunted there. We prairie dog hunted there. That 22,000-acre ranch had elk on it, and we shot a cow elk on that and drug it off a ravine into the back of our pickup and drove that home. And I don't know, I've just been around guns and hunting and since my entire upbringing. So honestly, I don't own a black rifle. I don't own, like, I don't know. I was like listening to episode 42. You guys were talking about the 320, and you're talking about all the. It's like, dude, I don't know a lot about any of that stuff. Like, when it comes to, I don't know. That's kind of my experience. I started carrying because And I carry a lot of the time, but the only place that I carry with 100% consistency is at church.
Yep, that's fair.
Because there's a lot of places where there would be gray area as far as, you know, whether I would be comfortable taking somebody's life is to save my own. But if somebody came into my church and started hurting people, I would just, there would be no mental obstacle for me to say the right thing to do is to stop this person, and I'm going to do that.
No, so I think what you just described there, that whole the whole upbringing, and then you said you listened to our episode 42, talk with Jake about all like the nuances of the gun culture. I think what you described is the typical American gun owner. I think we have there's a weird cult of people online that are constantly online and constantly just veining guns, like drama, gun issues, the gun life. Where like the best example I have is my dad. I talk to my dad on a day-to-day basis almost about guns, and you know, he'll talk a little bit about, you know, stuff that he's interested in. He's big into revolvers too. He's trying to collect all these like 1970s revolvers because he could never have them as a kid because they were poor farmers. And anytime I start talking about black rifles or these issues with you know, all these like this nuanced stuff, I just, you know, obviously lose them because that's not the normal American gun owners. Like, hey, I got like 1 or 2 rifles, or, you know, a handgun for self-protection, and that is about it. There's a very small sect of us group that have. I'm looking at Mark right now with his that closet over there. I mean, right now, just sitting here, I see, you know, 2 AKs, a couple loaded drum mags. Like this is a little bit different culture. So I would not be discouraged, especially on because I know you're pretty big on social media. You've been pretty active recently. Don't be discouraged about, you know, not knowing this stuff, because this is a very probably a very unhealthy thing. Like the best way to describe it is the people that are like, you know, tuned in 100% to politics. Those people are just messed up all the time. Like everything has like every time we talk to them about any sort of minor thing, they have to have a political spin on it, and then it gets annoying to talk to them. I'm pretty sure everyone here listening to this podcast knows that uncle or aunt or cousin or whatever, the second you mention something, they go on these political tirades. So I think what you have, the history you have, and what you just explained is the traditional American gun owner. So I would not take that lightly at all, man.
Yeah, I think that I appreciate that. I would be really interested to like get new guns and new rifles and like learn how to use them and gain new skill sets. And but I don't know, at least for the last, you know, 7 years, like any available money that I had was kind of moved to this project. And I don't know. And really before that, I was never making enough money to, you know, try new things out. So I'm open to it. I would love to gain a skill set. I would love to gain a tool. But it's just circumstances never really allowed me to, and therefore I'm just not that knowledgeable about a lot of that. Well, I will say that, go ahead.
I was going to say, you probably have more knowledge about real world stuff, like with like fixing cars, man. Like that's going to get you a lot further than knowing how to shoot an AR, because you can take anybody, like as someone who's taught a lot of people in the military, you can take literally anybody and show them how to shoot an AR. It takes a very, very unique set of skills to take somebody and say, hey, fix this car for me, and them actually be able to do it. So
I was going to say, like, thank you. Is that like, that was actually, I cited the back curve of the revolver up against my gut as like the initial reason, which is true. But the other reason that I really love revolvers is, you know, there's type 1, type 2 malfunctions, type 3 malfunctions, you know, like, and I've spent a little bit of time in various classes, like, you know, like clearing malfunctions. But in reality, every single time my striker fired pistol has malfunctioned on the range, I stare at it with this like
What do I do now?
Like, what do I do? Wait, you weren't supposed to do this. Like, you were supposed to do this other thing, and you're not doing it.
You were the chosen one.
After about 30 seconds of staring at it, I finally accept that something has happened, and then I'm like, oh, this is what I do, and then I do that thing. But honestly, like, one of the reasons I really love revolvers is because I'm a novice. It's like if the cylinder is latched, you know, and it doesn't go boom, the only thing left to do is pull the trigger again. That's it.
It's a very simple fix.
And you know, like a revolver can have a catastrophic mechanical failure, but so can your striker fire pistol. So it's like, to me, it's just it's kind of an idiot proof device. It's like, make sure your cylinder is latched. If it doesn't go boom, you might have to make sure that it's latched again. But I've never had that happen. I know that it could happen, like your cylinder would potentially not be latched or something, but every single time I've ever pulled the trigger on a revolver, it has gone boom every single time.
I would say that with utmost confidence, except for, and Mark was actually there for this one. I have a airweight 38 special that we're shooting 357s out of, and we're shooting remanufacturers, and actually had the I can't remember the malfunction it's called, but essentially the bullet unseated from the casing inside the gun because of the so much recoil is happening because you're shooting an 11-ounce J frame. So I mean, that is self-induced. That's not like a malfunction. It's not the gun's fault. It's 100% my fault. But as you said before, most majority of revolvers is if it doesn't go bang, pull the trigger again, and it should go bang. And if it doesn't, then something has catastrophically happened, and you need to figure out something else.
Yeah, and actually, like one of the things I wanted to talk about was kind of the benefits of revolvers. And
I love talking about benefits of revolvers. Go ahead, man.
So, like, one of the things that I love about revolvers is the double action trigger. So my full size handgun that has a light on it, that's in the stop box right next to my bed.
Also, great company.
Is a SIG P250. So it's also got a double action trigger with an external hammer that falls. I don't know, but to me, it's like I really love the double action trigger because it takes an incredibly intentional motion to fire the gun, but there's no external safety. Like, I'm not going to accidentally pull a double action trigger, but I'm also not going to accidentally forget to take the safety off.
Yeah. It's safety on its own.
Yeah, so I really love the built-in, like, very intentional motion, no safety needed of the double action trigger. I also, like, before I started carrying the hook grips, the Hamry Forge hook grips on my LCR, I had Crimson Trace green laser grips on it. That's another thing I love about the revolver, is I could put a boot grip, I could put a laser grip, I could put a hook grip. You know, I could get one of those nifty little grips where the pinky drops down.
Yeah.
It gives you, you know, it carries like a boot grip, but it feels like a full size grip. Never tried that. That's kind of interesting. And then just like really lightweight, really compact. I like those are things that I really love about the revolver. And then the other thing is like, to me, it's like, with a double action trigger, you could, you know, if all you ever shoot is striker fire weapons, you know, and you put a double action trigger in their hand, they wouldn't be able to shoot it because it's a skill set.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can shoot a double action trigger really well. So you give me a striker fire gun and it's a breeze.
It's like, wow, this is so light. This is so wonderful.
It's like shooting like a tuned 1911. It's like, oh wow, like this is.
I go that all the time. We'll go out to the range. I usually start with like my J frames, my revolvers, and then when you get to the Glock, like a 2-second build drill feels like it's wow, this is so wonderful. Like, I don't know, this is so super smooth and super nice on a stock Glock 19. And then also the other, I think it's something for being chronically online that hopefully you don't get there, man, because it jades you so quickly. Is that everyone will judge you for, you know, having a 5-shot revolver, saying like, oh, you know, if there ever was a defensive shooting, you're gonna die because you're not gonna have
killed on
ammo.
the streets.
You're gonna get killed in the streets for carrying a revolver because you're not gonna have enough ammo.
I mean, there are like experts who like love revolvers and there are experts who hate them. I don't know. To me, I look at all of that and it's just like there is an ass for every seat.
Yes.
You know, like my ass fits in this seat, your ass fits in someone else's seat. It's like, dude, who cares? Like, like go do you, like, and I'll be over here doing me. Like,
yeah, I think that's what's so weird about it too. And like, it's that chronic online culture. It's the everyone has to be everyone else's business. Like, if you want to carry a revolver, man, go for it. It's like better. What bothers me. It's the people that get upset about it, and like you should probably just carry no gun because now you're a liability. It's like, no, it's better than nothing. And if you work with it and train with it, it's more than a reliable tool. I think you mentioned it earlier. This is something that's been going on since, probably like for the past 125 years, people have been using small framed revolvers to do work. So it's not going to go away anytime soon because we're still using them.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you can put it in a pocket. You can put it in a jacket pocket, a jean pocket, you can put it in a holster. You can clip it with a hook, but it's just a really easy weapon to just integrate into daily life. And because if you're carrying a full size or even a subcompact, I don't know, like those are big weapons to like, especially IWB. I don't know. Lots of guys do it. That's great, man. If you actually got into a gunfight, then, you'd be more prepared than me. But it's like, I don't know, a revolver is just really easy for me to just like put in my pants or in my pocket and just take with me. And I don't feel like it doesn't really affect my everyday life.
Yeah, I think that's, again, the chronic online thing is I have to carry, full size gun with a spare mag because, and then the amount of people that probably like ruin their lives is not the best way to describe it, but the constant fear that they go through on a day-to-day basis, and now you have to alter your lifestyle. Like, yeah, that is super great to carry, a T-Rex holster with a extra mag and a full-size Glock with a light and optic. Try to pick up your kid the first time with that thing smashing on your junk and see how quickly you get rid of that.
Yeah.
Or even try to take off your shoes and tie them back at someone else's house. You're like, oh, I went over there and you're watching me tie my shoes right now. And you're wondering what the hell is wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's wrong with me. I got this
knees
massive piece of metal.
Your knees all canted out one direction. You can get around it,
Or you're doing like that awkward, just like Romanian deadlift. You just hinge directly at the hips and then round your back. What are you doing? Nothing. Just, tie my shoe like a normal person usually does. Don't mind me.
I wear sandals because you're not going to be able to tie your shoe.
Yeah. Or just wear Crocs. Wear Crocs.
Yeah, that's a solution.
I was listening to Tim Pool IRL.
Yeah.
Before you came over, and Angry Cops was on a panel with.
I did listen to that one this weekend. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and on the panel on the far other side was some kind of hulking dude, bald-headed dude. I don't know.
The Australian guy.
I don't know if he's Australian or not, but he was a pretty buff dude. And one of the things he said was, men should not wear Crocs.
Yeah, that was his whole thing.
Yeah, he's like, you're not going to be able to defend anything in Crocs, and here I am.
Yeah, I would say Mark's wearing Crocs right now.
They're my house shoes.
They're OD Crocs too.
What if you fell overboard? It could act as a flotation device.
There you go. And I've got two of them. Yeah. So Jack can get on the board, on the door. Do
they actually float? Crocs float?
Oh yeah.
Actually
sure.
Oh yeah, dude. There's a lot of air in those bad boys. It's basically like having a full-size tractor inner tube.
So outside of car mechanics and revolvers and Crocs, apparently, like what else is on Dave's like hobby list?
Well, I honestly, like I was thinking, I was like, oh, they'll probably ask me what my hobbies are. Honestly, my hobby, the only thing that I do besides being a dad, I have 3 kids. I have a 13-year-old daughter, I have a 12-year-old son, and I have a 4-year-old daughter. Besides being a dad and working a full-time job and starting a business, the only other thing that I do is fix our old cars. Like, dude, I'm constantly working on our old cars. I just put a water pump in on Sunday because it blew out when we went and picked our kids up in New York from camp, 5 hours one way. And
Are they Toyotas?
honestly, so I have a 2005 Chevy Tahoe and I have a 1999 Chevy Tahoe.
Not,
And,
but you work at a Toyota dealership. Help me out with that. What's the rationale
Make
there?
that make sense.
Make that make
Well,
sense because
I
I drive a Tacoma. So
honestly, I grew up driving Chevys. I've had both of these trucks for over 12 years. So I don't know. To me, Chevy parts are, I don't know. It's just what I know. And I
okay,
really,
that's fair.
I have there. So we're a family of 5. And so my 99 is a 2-door Tahoe. So it's kind of that K5 Blazer, that like Bronco kind of old school vibe that I really like. And then just like, I just feel like the Tahoe is just really big and it's got a lot of utility. I actually wish it was a Suburban, but,
Sure.
and I could get like a Sequoia or something like that. But I just like Chevys. I think that, especially that 800 series 5.3, the thing's freaking bulletproof. I got 225,000 miles on it. And I don't know. I do spend a lot of time fixing. And I don't know. I work in the yard. I work in the garden. I work on our house. I work on our broken down cars. Like, honestly, we have a Mass Autobahn. So we do a lot of just nature walks and hiking as a family.
Yeah.
But I feel like most of my weekends are spent, either working on my business, spending time with my family, or fixing something that's inevitably broken.
Yeah.
I wish that I had better hobbies than that, but unfortunately it's not that glamorous.
I feel like that's a typical dad weekend.
Yeah.
Mowing the lawn, fixing a car, maybe have a couple garage beers, and then like whatever like side project that you do at night in the garage, like either grilled cheese sandwiches or Revo Mags.
I get
Thank
you.
you.
I'm making them at night, Dad.
Making them at night.
What is your go-to yard work beer? Is it a light beer? Is it a full strength beer? What are we drinking when we're doing yard work?
It's mainly right now, and we're drinking them actually right now. Either the Flights or the Mick Ultras. It's just it's one of those. For me, it's definitely I can do a project that's a 5 to 6 beer project that that by beer 5 or 6, like the quality doesn't go down, but the give a fuck kind of goes down a bit. Like I just had to replace a water heater, and by beer 3, I was just like, you know what? Beforehand, I was very meticulous about the tape and putting like extra putty on like joints, and after I'm like 3 loops would be good enough, and we're just gonna cinch this son of a bitch down and hope for the best. And so far, it's been going okay. So
yeah, you need a light beer or a session beer. It's really hard to work with anything full diesel. So
Yeah,
I drink Coors Light. That stuff goes down nice and easy.
So I'm heading out to my property this weekend in Wyoming, and the neighbor drinks Coors, straight up Coors, the Banquet stubby bottles.
Dude, that's quality right there.
Yeah, and I'm not a Coors fan. Coors Light always gave me a headache, but I will also admit that may be just kind of a placebo effect, because my dad always said that Coors Light gave him a headache. So I just naturally think, oh, I'm getting a headache. It has to be the Coors Light, right? I don't think it
could
really
be just
bothers me.
alcohol and you haven't been drinking water today.
That's probably true too. Yeah, I mean, yesterday I downed 6 ultras between War Thunder and the live chat with Clayco 47, and then today I didn't drink very much water. I had probably 40 ounces.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, I know. But
honestly, I could count on one hand the number of ultras that I drank, so I might have to pick up some of that.
If you like a watery Coors Light, you'll like them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've drank Ultra for so long that it's just my go-to, because I don't feel like I get bloated from them, and I can drink.
You look like you're bloated from them.
There's a lot. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot going on there,
That's
But,
a 12-pack, bro.
yeah, it's a fucking keg right now.
Pony cake. Oh, I'll give you a pony cake.
Pony keg. Yeah, thanks. So, anyway,
to have fun
I can drink 3 or 4 of them and just not feel like sluggish or anything like that, and still work in the yard. And especially after I do like a run of 5K or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I can drink one right after, and it I don't know what it is. It just seems like
It
tastes
hits
like the best
just
beer.
right.
Oh yeah.
That was my post workout today. I got in my ice bath with a flight.
Yeah, nice. That's good.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so you're doing the dad thing, and that's obviously commendable, because let's be frankly honest with you, there's a lot of people, a lot of guys out there, and I won't be the type of guy that's like, oh, not me. But you spending your time to upkeep your vehicles and stuff like that on your own, instead of just taking it into a shop to have it done, that's commendable too. You miss out on a lot of quote unquote hobbies, but at the same time, this is a hobby in and of itself, is just maintaining your own stuff and not having to rely on somebody else. And I know, like,
yeah. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say right now is, I know that I have some remedial service that I need to do on my Tacoma, and I need to flush the radiator. I need to swap out the transmission fluid, and
I just
and
replaced the entire throttle body and like 90% of my hoses on my truck this weekend in a Napa parking lot. So, like, I have hell respect for like anybody who can figure out how to do this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I just don't want to deal with it. I've got so many other things that I'm trying to focus my time on, that I just assume take it in someplace and let them deal with it. But for someone like yourself,
a valid point. I feel like it's so tough to get good service these days. Like, sometimes I think to myself, if I had the
this
money,
guy works at a Toyota dealership too.
Dude, as a guy that works, like, there are some technicians in there that are top notch.
Oh sure,
These guys can fix anything. And there are some technicians in there that, not
just
so
squeaking
much.
by.
Should not be changing oil.
But I don't know. I just, if I had, I would like to come to a point in my life where, instead of working on my cars, like, I'm spending more time with my family, and I'm paying more for service. Like, I do think that I would enjoy that, but I'm not in that season of life, and I'm grateful for the season of life that I'm in. And I mean, I have the ability, and so I can, and I feel blessed. I was talking to my buddy the other day. He's like, I spent $4,000 to put a hot water heater in. I was like, is it gas? He's like, no, it was electric. I'm like, yeah. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make him feel stupid, but I was like, you spent $4,000 having someone else put in an electric hot water heater?
I had that.
Why did you do that?
I had that exact. So on Thursday morning, my hot water heater sounded like someone like roundhouse kicked it 3 times, and we called Thursday, and the cheapest quote I got was $2,500 to have someone come out and like as an emergency to get it replaced. So I went to Menards, picked one up for $380. I think it cost me like another $100 in tools and stuff that I didn't really have to cut copper pipes. Yeah. In about 45 minutes to an hour, I had hot water again. It's electric, so our house hopefully isn't going to blow up. But the amount of, and then what's nice about it too is because now you know how your house works. Like, I think that's the biggest thing too. Like, you know how this stuff works. That's a skill that people lose out a lot. It's like, well, I'll just call a plumber, call an electrician. Like, no, take some time and figure out how your shit works. So then if it goes down again, you're not relying on somebody else, because sometimes that other person might not be there.
Yeah. And in about 20 years, they won't be, because there is a massive deficit of people with trade skills, such as mechanics, plumbers, HVAC.
South Park episode about it.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, in 20 years, we're going to be hurting really bad. Just my
Yeah,
opinion.
man. I look at the young people and it's just like there's like I don't know. I'm sure I feel like when I go to like home to Colorado and I like brush up with some of these country folks, these country families, I'm like, wow, these people have some grit. Like they're still raising like really solid families, and I hope I'm raising a solid family. But a lot of it, I just look around at the upcoming workforce and I just shake my head in disgust. I'm just like, there's no way these people are gonna be able to do this.
Well, yeah, the big one. I got two very, very little children right now. 2 and 3/4, and the other one's 8 months. And I think any parent listening to this will understand. Going to like a restaurant and watching how everyone else's kids are, either they slap an iPad right in front of them just to keep them quiet. Granted, I'm fighting for my fucking life right now, trying to keep my kids entertained and everything like that. But just looking at that, like, wow, like what are we doing to this next few generations? Like, I know ours is already kind of messed up, but I can't wait to see what other unique challenges come out of that one.
Well, right now our attention span is incredibly low, right? And we are infusing that into the next generation right now.
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't reloaded this thing like 70 times already.
For everybody that has been listening
probably
through this, and hear
the
this clicking noise the entire time, that is literally Jefe using the Revo Mag as a fidget
toy.
So
Mark put his away. So
I did. I set mine aside because I knew that I was starting to do the same thing. So
I gotta tell you guys, it's music to my ear every time I hear that click.
It's like a certain click that you've just grown accustomed to, and you hear it, and like, yeah, yes, cha-ching.
Oh, it doesn't grow old though.
Yeah. And I thought, like, and I think what's pretty cool about this too, and we're going to tie it back to everything, is that you've also kind of involved your children in this. Like, I know you have a couple of videos of your kids. Like, it's so easy your kids can use this tool.
Yeah, even my 4-year-old daughter. I don't know if you saw that one. It's right at the very beginning, but I had her using it, and no, there was my family's definitely part of it. There was right after I spent that money on engineering, and I'd got nowhere. I was ready to throw in the towel, and I was done. And my wife and my kids came to me, and they said, basically, David, we believe in you. We want to see this dream come true, and we're willing to walk with you through this. Like, you can't give up.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So now you have to.
and dude, through this process too, like I came to my wife regularly and I said to her, how am I doing? Like, I don't want to lose sight of my relationship with God. I don't want to lose sight of my marriage. I don't want to lose sight of being a good dad. Like, I don't want to put any of these things that are more valuable on the altar of, my dream.
Yeah.
So how am I doing? And it was a mixed bag. Sometimes she's like, you got to pull back. You're going too hard and you're losing sight. And I would pull back. And sometimes she'd be like, you're doing good. And I just keep cruising. But dude, my family is not necessarily in like day-to-day manufacturing, like out here helping me do it. But my son helped me make all the clips. That's something that I did myself in-house. We worked together to make all those clips. My wife is doing the books on my business, and my daughter is making Revo Mag boxes, those boxes that your Revo Mags came in. So,
yeah.
And honestly, as like things pick up, I'm going to need. My job is to work out the bottlenecks and find clever solutions for problems that I'm facing, and but I'm gonna lean heavy on them to help me do like simple tasks, loading machines and things of that nature. And it's a solid group of people that I got. I'm really grateful for my people. So
I want to give a cautionary tale. As you get your family involved, there's going to be some weirdos that ask for weird comments when they order things, like, I don't know, a foot picture from Don't let your kids send them feet pics, please.
Dude, is that, dude, that, yeah, that would be really weird. And I definitely would not accommodate said human.
So I hope Ryan doesn't get mad at me for sharing this tale, because when I ordered my K-grips from him, I put a joke in there, send me a picture of your left foot. And his teenage daughter.
What?
Yeah, one of his kids sent me a picture of her foot, and she was like, I don't know why he asked for this, so I just sent it alongside of it. So I have like a printout picture of someone's foot.
Now, so here's the thing. I know
He thought it was funny.
Exactly. I understand that out of context, that sounds really bad, but I obviously know Jefe, and I know that we make jokes about sending feet pics all the time. In fact, I've posted reels on Instagram with my feet in them, as a joke, So anyway, but
so yes, it was a weird conversation to have with a man to man, father to father. But
that's awesome.
Just a cautionary tale for anybody else who's going to start their home business and get their family involved. QA/QC those before, like the order comments before giving to your kids to fulfill them.
It's funny because like people would always ask me like, oh, like how are you going to market this, and like how are you, and things like that, and I would always say like, I have no idea how I'm going to do that. Like, when that is the next thing that I need to do, I'll figure that out. But right now I'm figuring something else out. So, and they would always look at me like I was a complete moron, which is probably, but I don't know. Like I was never on social media. I was expecting it to be like a total shit show, like a total.
It is. Oh, it totally
but honestly,
is.
my experience has been super positive.
Well, that's
like,
good.
I've had a lot of like really quality people.
Give it some time.
Like come alongside me and show me a lot of kindness. And like you probably know who some of those guys are. They're guys that like collaborate with me regularly, who share my stuff consistently. Like they're just solid, just good, kind people, just good-willed, good-hearted people. And I'm so grateful for those people, and I was really surprised by those people. I didn't think that was going to be part of this. Like, but it's a lot of really good people out there. I've met some of them. I'm really grateful for the support that I've got.
Yeah. So here's a question. When it comes to the marketing aspect of it, is should we expect to see you like at SHOT Show or some of these other trade shows? At a booth or walking around, or I mean, have you thought that far into it yet?
I don't think that. So right now, I have 4 weeks paid vacation at my full-time job. 3 weeks are paid vacation, and then I have a week's worth of sick days, which I always take as vacation days.
Yeah.
But just with I'm from Colorado. My wife's from California. We're always flying back to see family. I just feel like that time goes instantaneously.
Oh yeah.
And for me to take time off work to go, I don't know, it would cost me a lot of money for the booth, for all the materials, I would be pretty hesitant. Like I'm getting a lot of like Snub Noir reached out to me and asked for a Revo Mag, wanted to do an article. The USCCA reached out to me, asked for a Revo Mag as a possible inclusion in their favorite things. Nice. Lots of like what I did was like interesting enough that like my inbox kind of has a consistent like inquiry from somebody about like, oh, I work in North Carolina, and I manage this training facility, and I would be interested to check out the Revo Mag, or, oh, I'm like one of the lead trainers for the NYPD, and I would be interested to try a Revo Mag, and I'll kick these guys a Revo Mag. And I don't know, to me, it's like, I don't want to give Facebook like, or Instagram money for marketing. Like I want to give a bro a tool that might help him or be useful to him or be a blessing to him. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to, so I don't know, like, as far as I really don't know. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I feel like I would need to be doing this full time for me to be interested in going to something like SHOT Show. For me, just the investment.
Sure. Yeah.
And I would want to show up with a bunch of product, and I don't have a bunch of in stock product. Like, I'm just doing the best that I can, and I'm staying ahead of it. But I feel like for me to go to SHOT Show, maybe a local trade show, but I'd want to be doing this full time.
Well, I think what you have like is a very one, you have something that you've made yourself that's very unique. That is like, once someone sees it, it's like, wow, I want to find more about it. It's not like you just came out with a different form of speed strip, or you came out with a different form of speed loader. This is like a brand new, like a revolutionary thing that you've come up with. And it sounds like enough people are interested that your marketing is probably going to be word of mouth, and it's probably going to get you to where you're that 1K mark that you want. Especially because you have people like every single like revolver, like small frame revolver page I follow has a Revo Mag in it these days.
Yeah, not all of them, most of them.
Everyone.
There's a few guys that are holding out on me, but
tell me their names. I'll bully them.
Yeah, Jefe is really good about bullying.
A speed strip is like what, $10 for a couple of them. Like, they're very inexpensive. An HKS speed loader is also really inexpensive. And the speed strips are really versatile in that, you get an 8-shot speed strip and you can reload any small frame revolver with that. The HKS speed loaders, those are a little bit of a pain in the ass because they're revolver specific.
Yeah.
But they're really inexpensive. And for me to come in at the $65 mark, free shipping, it's definitely more of an investment for you to try something new. And in some ways, like, I wish that I could do it for less, but I can't. That's what I need to do to move this project forward and to make it worth my while. So, and guys are paying it. I mean, $65, it's like, I feel like $50 is the new 20, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll try that.
Well, then I see. Well, with the speed strips, they're a perishable item. You buy them, you're supposed to use them for a couple of years, and as they wear out, as you use them, they fall apart pretty quickly, and you're supposed to replace them. This seems something that you buy. It's a buy once, cry once. I buy this Revo Mag. I have a universal 8-shot wave carrying 8 rounds of a revolver ammo on me, or in a bag. Or I see this really being good for like. I'm really excited to try this out for like during like the hunting season, when I carry a 357 revolver on a chest rig, and having this like a magazine pouch rather than this loose rounds hanging out on you somewhere. So
yeah, my brother runs a chest rig on his 357 mag during hunting season, and he clips the Revo Mag right to the chest strap and just holds it right there next to it.
So like that's the kind of stuff that I feel like. Yes, is it easier to go to somebody and say, hey, you can buy this speed strip for $10, like buy a pack of 3 for $10, and then here, if you're using it constantly, or you live in the South or live in the Great White North here, and if you use it like 4 or 5 times, you have to replace it, and then here you are 6 years in, you've done $200 with this cheap rubber product, or buy Revo Mag once, and now you have something that's going to last you, probably outlast you.
Yeah, and if for some reason you have a problem with it, I got your back. So it's a solid investment.
So there you go. Well, we're approaching. We've gone almost 2 hours here, and we're approaching the end here. Once again, if you guys are interested in checking out the Revo Mag, we have a 10% discount code. It will be in the description. If you don't have the ability to read for whatever reason,
and if we fix our descriptions on Spotify, I need to show you that.
What's that?
You need to fix the descriptions on Spotify.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I'll show you here in a second.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, you can use Revo LLL10. That will get you 10% off. Good for the next 60 days. So at the airing of this episode, which will be the 15th of August, the next 60 days, if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, you can get a 10% discount on that. So again, Dave, we do really appreciate you offering that discount to our listeners. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, REVOLLL 10%. And like I said, like I already do free shipping. I love free shipping. Everybody loves free shipping. So I do free shipping, and I'm going to keep it that way. So, so I don't know. I'm doing my best to try to offer a great product at a reasonable price and the best service I can possibly give. And yeah, man, it's been a blessing. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, we're excited to see what you come up with next, man. A 44 mag one, and we'll be good to go. So, what we usually do at this last little bit is we give you we ask you for your best dad advice. What's the best thing you could tell if anybody's trying to do something like you're doing, or it could be literally anything. Your best dad advice.
Wow, my best dad advice. Dude, honestly, like it's actually a scripture, and
send it.
1 Corinthians 11, where it says, like, love is patient, love is kind. It doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it isn't proud or rude or self-seeking or easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It doesn't delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always perseveres, never fails. And I feel like my goal in life is to seek first the kingdom of God, to be a good friend, to be a good husband, and to be a good father. And I think that the way that you accomplish all of those things is in love. If you can speak in the tongues of men and of angels and have not love, you're a resounding gong and a clanging cymbal. If you have a faith that can move mountains and fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and you don't have love, like, you're nothing. So I don't know, like there's so many times in life where I find myself where, I have a record of wrongs, or like I'm more into what I'm doing and less into what they're doing, and I feel like I say that I love these people. What is love? And does what I say like match up with what it is? It is patient. It is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. It isn't proud or rude or self-seeking. And I don't know. It's a plumb line for me. And on a lot of times my love falls short, but I see that plumb line and I say, and I know what I need to do. And I don't know if that's what you were looking for, brother, but
that's perfect.
That's what I got for you.
Good shit.
Yeah. Hefe, what do you got?
Mine's not as deep, but we've kind of alluded to it several times here, man. If something is, try to fix things yourself before trying to go out and do it, paying somebody a ridiculous amount of money. A lot of this, with the rise of AI and YouTube and everything like that, and the internet, finding answers to your problems is really easy, and you are only building skill sets and building capability if you do it yourself rather than just outsource it to everybody. It seems really odd that we are in the gun space where we poo-poo people that outsource their security to police or to other people, but you are willing to outsource your family's well-being to a plumber or electrician because you don't know what you're doing. So crack open a book, get on YouTube. AI these days, like ChatGPT, are great tools to use to help you figure out how to fix stuff and get some skill sets in.
Yeah, right on.
Good word. That's a very good word. I feel like the bug out bag, the self-reliance, like all those things that we really pride ourselves in, like that skill set, like that way of thinking, like perfectly integrates into that same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's the American tradition is like no one's coming. I got to do this myself, and I feel like we've lost that a lot. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's true.
all right, Mark.
Oh, I just found it odd that if there's an argument between two vegans, they still call it a beef. You like that? There you go. That's my dad joke.
Just tell your boyfriend I'm a vegetarian. I'm not scared of him. So.
But with that being said, Dave, thank you so very much. I know that before we started recording, you were concerned about, that you just weren't. You didn't think that you were very interesting or whatever the case might be. But man, we're right at that 2-hour mark, and it's like nonstop. So thank you so much for coming on, and we're definitely going to have you back on in the future.
Gentlemen, it was an absolute pleasure to have this opportunity. I'm very grateful to both of you. I hope the best for you, for your business, for your venture. And I appreciate your kind wishes to mine as well. So thank you, both of you, very much. I'm grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Jefe, thanks again. Appreciate you. And we appreciate each and every single one of you listening this far in the podcast. We will catch you guys next time. As always, don't forget to live, laugh, and LARP. Bye, y'all.